Hey guys, Polly B here of Sober Me in the C.C.B.C. We're just going to leave off where we left off last time, getting into my early 30s, because I just went over my late 20s. So yeah, just getting into it right away. Into my early 30s, like I said, my addiction had just gotten out of control so much. Like I said, I started going from job to job, and I started to have a lot of problems with me and my ex-wife. It caused me to have to leave a lot and move to a lot of places. And at this point in time, we were already after having children together. And I don't know if anybody knows, but a lot of people do know that when you're going through addiction and having children, it's not the best thing to put two and two together. Um, a lot of it, like I said, will put you into a struggle and put you into a mindset where you're not a very happy person. And then you need to try to play off that happy person while your kids are around. I never ever did let my kids see me drink right up until a very late age. Like my youngest was almost a teenager before she actually first saw me drink. They knew that I did drink, but they didn't know how much or what I was drinking. They didn't know nothing about my addiction. My kids now know about my addiction. I've spoke to them. I had talked with both of them about it. And my stepkids also know. It's a little bit harder for my stepson who has autism, so it's a little bit more difficult to explain to him. But he does know about the drinking and this and that. So see, he's seen a lot of it. I've been around him now for 7 years, and I've only been clean and sober for 2. So that just shows you there. It got to the point in my life to where I chose drugs and alcohol over everything. Yes, I still did my everyday life duties. I still did take care of my family. I still did go to work when I had a job. In between or no jobs and this and that. Like I said, I use my resources between like a social services program or unemployment from work and stuff like that. That's what got me through these times. And just like anything, when we're addiction and addicts, we all learn different types of ways to come up with money and different that, and whether it's ripping off the government or anything like that. We will come up and find any tricks of the trade. So a lot of the times, like going back through it, we've done pretty much everything. So we can be at the lowest of our lowest of what we can be, and we would never ever know it. You know what I mean? And then, like I said, coming up into then, it's I had my own shop. I had my own place to be. I had my own friends. Everybody loved me who I was. Everybody loved that partier. Everybody loved that go-getter guy, and that was me. I've done a lot of partying with people for acceptance. I didn't realize it at the time when I was growing up and this and that, but it was always for acceptance. I always wanted to be accepted by everybody because of who I was and the name that I had. Like I said, being accepted was a huge part of my life because growing up, I did not belong growing up with a lot of people and a lot of friends, so I never ever really felt accepted. I didn't even feel accepted in my own family. It's just because I felt different. I felt like I never ever belonged. I felt like I never ever had a purpose. And then, like I said, later on in life, it took me to the point of near-death experiences to get me to realize. And even at first, it still never even got me to realize of how much importance in life the family is and friends are. But they're only good if they're good for you. The only time to have a good friend is if that is a positive impact on your life. I had lots of friends in my life, and none of them had any of a positive impact on me. A lot of them, to be honest with you, it was more of a negative impact because the only time that I had these friends around is when I had dope and booze. And that is a lot to ingest after so many years of everybody wanting to be you and wanting to be around you. Everybody thought I had the life. Everybody thought I had the job, I had the wife, I had the kids, I had the toys. Everybody thought that was it. That was true happiness. But to be honest with you, it's not true happiness. With my addiction and my alcoholism, that I had taken a lot away from my family life and being able to proceed next and forward in their relationships. It was a very hard time for me mentally, not knowing when my next fix was going to be, not knowing when my next drop of booze was going to be. It was always undetermined and out there. And like I said, this prolonged for years and years and years. This went on for, and I try to prolong everything in my addiction just so I could have that next bit of more fun, that next bit of excitement, that next fix, that next boost. You know what I mean? And a lot of it stems from when I wanted acceptance from people, but then everybody took me for face value. Growing up, I never ever really had good types of friends. It was always had to hang out with the better crowd, the uneducated crowd, the lower income, the welfare crowd, because that's the crowd that I mostly mixed in with and fitted in with. A lot of us who were hard cases growing up in school, we were all in special ed together, or we were always in trouble together. You know what I mean? So we always got stuck together. So growing up in life, it just that prolonged into my adult life, to having the same type of friends around me that I wanted. You know what I mean? It was a struggle for years of making friends, and then it got to the point where I had so many friends that I didn't know what true friends really were until later on in life. Now, into my sobriety, that like now I'm trying to make friends again, and I've never had more trouble than now than ever to make friends. It's a lot different now when you're making friends that are sober than when you're making friends that are in addiction. It's so much easier to make friends in addiction because there's always a good opener for you guys. Hey, do you want to share a glass? Do you want one of these? Do you want a beer? You know what I mean? That right away, there's a boom, there's an introduction. But now it's hard. There's not really an introductory for each other. You know what I mean? The only thing that we got to cope or bond over is the fact that we're both in AA. Yes, I've taken the AA road over the NA road. I just found it to more suit for me with being an alcoholic and an addict. For me, that experience for me was the best experience so far. I'm coming up on 24 months now, clean and sober, June 19th. Thank God that we're here now. It took me a long while to get to where I'm at right now. And like I said, this guys, man, if I can do it, anybody can do it. Because for a lot of years, I thought there was no hope for me at all. And yes, we're going to kind of come off track a little bit about the story of my life and this and that, but we're just going to kind of come up to date. Like, I've been almost clean and sober 2 years now, and it was a struggle to get to where I'm at today. And it still is a struggle today where I'm at, you know what I mean? But do I ever feel better about my life? 100%. Do I feel better about me? 100%. Do I feel better about other people? Yes, I have a clearer mind now to be able to talk and to be able to go along with people and to be able to see who I wanted, who I don't want in my life. And it's not a bad thing. Some of these people, they are nice people. It's not a fit for me. It's not a friendship that I can see coming out of this. Yes, I will bond with them at the AA meetings and at other meetings and such, but I'm not like the others. I'm separate. I think I always will be separate. I'm not 100% sure on why that is. It's stuff that I'm trying to figure out now myself, but trying to figure out all this and then going on. It's a lot. It's a lot to take in. It's a lot to do. It's a lot to deal with. But I must say, within 2 years of being sober, I finally went and had all my eyes checked and my glasses. Now I have gotten my teeth done. I have gotten the liver issues figured out. I have beat colon cancer. In just overall general, I became a better person. I am still me, but I am a better me. And that's what I always strive for now. I'm striving to become a better person. And to be honest with you, I'm striving to figure out who I am and what I want to be. Because, like, I know a lot of times in addiction, people say, oh, just go back to who you were before. But that's my biggest problem right now, is that I don't know who I was before. Because for as long as I've known, from a very young age, at age 11, that I was an addict. I didn't know at age 11 that I was an addict, but I do know now that back then, that was the beginning of my addiction and the beginning of my alcoholism. It's kind of hard to know it when you're growing up into it. And that's the weird thing. I grew up in a non-drinking, non-smoking, non-drug household. And somehow I turned into an alcoholic and an addict and probably a huge, huge smoker. I still smoke about 2 packs of cigarettes a day, but that's all I got left. And which is, I'm happy to have that because I'm happy to have everything else out of my life. Other things that I'm striving for now, I've just recently decided that to think that I'm ready to go back to work because I feel like I don't have a purpose. Right now, I feel like I don't have a purpose in life. I know I do, and my purpose, and I'm hoping this right here, these videos, is one purpose that I have, is to spread the word and to get the point out there that it is possible to become clean and sober. It is possible to turn your life around. I have done it. So there's just living proof right here that it is possible. It's possible for anyone to do it. Anybody that ever wants any help, and to reach out to me. I got no problem talking to people about this and getting people to proper help and into the right directions and where they should go. I don't know everything myself, no, but I do know enough to know that, listen, everybody can use a little bit of help sometimes in their life. And if there's that little bit of glimmer of hope from a friend or from a stranger or from anybody, to be honest with you, just that little glimmer of hope that it is possible, and sometimes that's all that we need. I never really had a lot of people believing in me, but I had my mother, my mother-in-law, and my wife and kids all believe in me, and for those reasons, that's the reasons why I'm here where I'm at now today. I'm coming up on 2 years clean and sober. And I do it for them mostly. Like, yes, I do it for myself. Obviously, I do it for myself, but I do it for my family mostly. It's because they're the ones that are closest to me. They're the ones that are sticking behind me, and they're the ones that are supporting me the most of all this. A lot of the building the bikes right now, this is a lot of part of my recovery. It's something that I want to get into because they say do what makes you happy, because if do what makes you happy, it's going to turn into a passion of love. And I love what I'm doing right now, so I love working on bikes. So if this doing what I love is what makes me happy, then so be it, and this is what we're going to do. Speaking of the bike, I am just about done the frame. All I am waiting on now is I need to pick up a front end wheel hub conversion kit, electric conversion kit for my bike. And then once I pick that up, I have a couple brackets and stuff to make up for that, for the battery and all the electronic components. And then once that's done, it will be final tear down and off the powder coat and paint, and then just pick up some new parts. And then once all that is done, then we'll come back and we'll do final assembly. But in the meantime, I'm at a stand. Hey guys, sorry about that, but I had a little bit of problem with the battery. So just to get back to it, like I just said, I'm at a standstill with the other bike. But what I've decided to do, a new bike. As you guys see, these are handlebars. This is off a Stingray 4, the Orange County Copper bike, and here's the pegs, the down to for the leg out for the porch. And I got the frame. And then it's already sanded down, so I can start doing some work on it. I'm just going to customize this frame. That's all I plan on doing with this. I'm going to keep the same wheels, same forks, and same handlebars and everything, but I'm going to customize it all a little bit to my way. And I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to do electric on this or if I'm going to do a little gas power motor. But we'll get back to that farther on into the build. So for now, while I'm on the standstill on the other bike, I'm going to start doing on this bike. So we'll have a whole new build to start doing. But anyways, guys, so that'll catch us up now. I'm into my mid-30s. So we'll go from there in the next process. We'll go into the next video, and we'll talk more about from my 30s up to my 40s. And then we'll get to where I got to be sober. So hey, guys, like I always say, it is possible. It is possible to get clean and sober. If I did it, you guys can do it. So probably be a sober me in the C.C.B.C. Thanks, guys.